text message came through while I was folding laundry in our bedroom. 6 weeks he'd been gone. 6 weeks of solo travel through Southeast Asia. Finding himself, he called it. I called it his 3rd international trip this year, but I've been supportive. I thought I was being the cool girlfriend, the understanding partner who didn't cage her man in. My phone buzzed on the dresser. Video call. I picked it up, and there was Marcus, my boyfriend of 3 years, with some gorgeous tropical sunset painted behind him like a movie scene. His face filled the screen, and something about his expression made my hands go cold. "Hey babe, how's everything?" I tried to sound casual, but my voice came out tight. He had this look. Serious, like he was about to tell me someone died. "Listen, Jenna, I need to talk to you about something important." My stomach dropped so fast I actually felt dizzy. I sat down on the edge of our bed, the bed we'd shared for 2 years since I moved into his place. "Okay, what's going on?" "I met someone here." He said it quickly, like ripping off a bandage. "We've been spending a lot of time together. I think we're in a situationship." I stared at the screen. My brain literally could not process what he'd just said. "You're in a what?" "A situationship. It's like, we're not quite dating, but we have this really deep connection, and I think that's why I wanted to talk to you. Because it's complicated. I still love you, but I also have these feelings for her, and I need to be honest about my journey." The laundry basket sat at my feet. His t-shirts. I'd been folding his t-shirts while he was telling me about another woman, about his journey. "It's not complicated anymore," I heard myself say. My voice sounded strange, distant. "We're done." "Wait, what? You're breaking up with me? You just told me you're seeing someone else." "It's not like that. It's a situationship, and I was trying to be honest with you, instead of hiding it." "Doesn't that count for something?" I felt something crack open inside me. Not my heart breaking, something colder. Something that knew exactly what needed to happen next. "Sure, it counts as you being single now. Enjoy your trip, Marcus." I hung up. Then I blocked his number. For maybe 30 seconds, I just sat there, staring at the pile of his laundry. Then I stood up and started moving. This is Revenge Stories, a home for quiet courage and true endings. If you feel my words, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Help us build this community so we can bring more interesting and exciting stories for you from around the world. Your help is much appreciated. Your voice matters here. Your story matters too. The apartment was his. I mean, technically, his name on the lease. He'd been living there for 4 years before I moved in. I'd been paying him rent, sort of. Cash here and there. Venmo when I remembered. Very casual. Nothing formal. We were in love. We were building a life together. Why did we need receipts and contracts? I pulled up the lease on his laptop. I still had his password. We'd always been open like that. Transparent. His name only. Just like I remembered. Then I started packing. My clothes went into my 2 big suitcases. My toiletries fit into a makeup bag and a small box. Books, laptop. My vintage camera collection that I'd spent years building. My jewelry box. The throw pillows I'd bought to make the place feel more like ours. The kitchen towels with the little lemons on them that I loved. The coffee maker I'd bought last Christmas because his old one was garbage. It took me about 4 hours to separate my life from his. 4 hours to pack up 2 years of living together. I called my best friend Alia. "I need your brother's truck, and I need you to not ask questions until we're done moving." "Done moving what?" "Ali, please." She heard something in my voice. "I'll be there in 40 minutes. By the time she arrived with her brother's pickup truck, I had everything stacked by the door. She took one look at the boxes and suitcases, then at my face, and said, "Where are we going?" "Your place, if that's okay. Just for a few days while I find something. You can stay as long as you need. Let's load up together." We didn't talk about it while we moved my things. Her brother, David, helped us carry everything down 3 flights of stairs. They didn't ask. They just helped. When the apartment was empty of everything that was mine, I stood in the middle of the living room and looked around. 2 years. I'd lived here for 2 years. Cooked dinners in that kitchen, watched movies on that couch, made love in that bedroom, built what I thought was a future. All of it gone in 4 hours. I left my key on the kitchen counter, took a photo of it sitting there with my phone. Then I left. At Aaliyah's apartment, I finally told her everything. The video call, the situationship, his honesty about his journey. Are you serious? She was furious. He called you to tell you he's cheating? It's called a situationship. It's called cheating with a trendy name. What a piece of garbage. Her brother was setting up an air mattress in her living room for me. You want me to go back and do something to his car? He offered. Sugar in the gas tank? Eggs on the windshield? No. I surprised myself with how calm I sounded. I just want to be gone. But I wasn't calm. Not really. Lying on that air mattress that first night, staring at Aaliyah's ceiling, I felt something building inside me. Not sadness, not heartbreak, something sharper. Something that tasted like rage and clarity mixed together. He'd called me. Actually called me to tell me he was seeing someone else. Expected me to what? Wait around while he figured out his feelings? Be understanding about his journey? My phone buzzed. A text from a number I didn't recognize. Jenna, it's Marcus. I'm using the hostel's phone. Why did you block me? We need to talk about this. I stared at the message. Then I typed back. I moved out. Don't contact me again. What do you mean you moved out? Your stuff is here. Not anymore. I took everything that was mine. We're done. You can't just leave. We need to talk in person. I'll be back in 2 weeks. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. I made mine. Babe, please. You're overreacting. It was just honesty. I was trying to do the right thing. The right thing? He thought calling me from another country to tell me about another woman was the right thing. I blocked that number too. Then I got a call from his mother. I'd always liked Patricia. She was warm, welcoming, treated me like family from the start. Jenna, honey, Marcus sent me a message. He says you broke up and moved out? That's right. But why? What happened? He called me from Thailand to tell me he's in a situationship with someone else. Silence. Then, he what? He met someone, started seeing her, called to tell me about it, said it was complicated. Oh, Jenna. Oh, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. It's okay. I'm okay. Where are you staying? Are you safe? I'm with my best friend. I'm fine. You listen to me. You did the right thing. I love my son, but that was unacceptable. You deserve better than that. Strong, Paige. I felt tears coming for the first time since the call. Thank you for saying that. Strong, I mean it. You're a wonderful woman. Don't let him or anyone else make you think this was your fault. Strong, when we hung up, I let myself cry. Not because I missed him, but because his mother had shown me more respect in 5 minutes than he'd shown me in that entire video call. Strong, Paige. Strong. The next morning, I called my landlord from 2 years ago, the apartment building where I'd lived before moving in with Marcus. Strong, Paige. Hi, Mr. Chen. This is Jenna Whitmore. I used to rent unit 312? Strong, Paige. Jenna, yes, I remember. How can I help you? Strong, Paige. Do you have any units available? Strong. Actually, yes. A 1-bedroom just opened up. 3rd floor. It's a bit smaller than your old place. Can I see it today? By that afternoon, I'd seen the apartment and signed a lease. It was smaller, but it was mine. Just mine. My name on the lease. My decision. My space. First month's rent and security deposit wiped out most of my savings. But I didn't care. I needed something that was entirely mine. Moving day came 3 days later. Aaliyah and David helped me move my boxes from her place to my new apartment. It didn't take long. I didn't have much. This is a good space, Aaliyah said, looking around the empty living room. Fresh start energy. That's exactly what I need. My phone rang. Another unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Jenna, it's Marcus. Stop blocking me. We need to talk, and he said, No, we don't. I'm coming home early, landing tomorrow night. I'll come straight to the apartment. Yes, we do. What do you mean? I told you. I moved out. I have a new place. Andy, comma. You got a new apartment in less than a week? Yes. Andy, comma. Where? That's none of your business anymore. Andy, comma. Jenna, come on. This is insane. We've been together for 3 years. You can't just disappear. Andy, comma. I'm not disappearing. I'm moving on. Like you did when you started your situationship. Andy, comma. That's different. Andy, comma. No, Marcus. It's not. Goodbye. I hung up. Then I turned off my phone completely. Aliyah ordered pizza, and the 3 of us sat on my empty living room floor, eating dinner with paper plates. No furniture yet. No TV. Just boxes and possibilities. You know he's gonna keep trying, right? Aliyah said. Let him try. What if he shows up here? He doesn't know where here is. David looked at me with respect. You're handling this like a boss. I'm handling this like someone who knows her worth. I corrected him. There's a difference. But alone that night, sleeping on the air mattress in my empty bedroom, I let myself feel it. The loss, the betrayal, the shock of how quickly 3 years could end. One phone call, one admission, everything gone. I'd supported him. I'd been understanding about his need for adventure, for solo travel, for finding himself. I'd been flexible and accommodating and cool about all of it. And the whole time, he'd been planning his exit strategy, meeting someone else, exploring his options. The journal pages Marcus's situationship girlfriend had showed me later proved that. But that part comes later. For now, I was just a woman lying on an air mattress in an empty apartment, rebuilding her life from scratch. Marcus came to Aliyah's building 2 days after he got back. She texted me. Your ex is here pounding on my door. What do you want me to do? Don't answer. He'll leave eventually. He's yelling through the door that he just wants to talk. He can want all he likes. 20 minutes later, building manager threatened to call the cops. He left. He tried calling from different numbers. I blocked each one. He sent emails. I set up a filter to automatically delete anything from his address. He sent messages through Facebook, Instagram, even LinkedIn. I blocked him on every platform. He was persistent. I was more persistent. Then, things got interesting. His best friend called me, Tyler. We'd always gotten along. Jenna, hey, listen, Marcus asked me to reach out. Don't do this, Tyler. Just hear me out. He's really torn up about this. Good. That's cold. He started seeing someone else while we were together. What part of this makes me the cold one? He said it wasn't like that. He said he was confused and trying to be honest with you. He was honest, and I was honest back. We're done. That's it. He says you won't even talk to him. Correct. Come on, 3 years. That's gotta mean something. It did mean something. Then he turned it into a situationship with someone else. Tyler sighed. You're really not gonna give him another chance? Not even for a second. He really loved you, you know. Loved, past tense. We agree on something. After I hung up, Aliyah brought me wine and takeout. Tyler called you? Yep. What did you say? I said no. Good. She poured us both generous glasses. You know what I love about you right now? You're not wavering. You're not second-guessing yourself. You just knew what you needed to do, and you did it. I don't feel strong. I feel numb. Numb is better than crushed. Numb gets you through. You can feel it all later when you're ready. What if I'm never ready? Then you're never ready. But I don't think that's what's happening here. I think you're protecting yourself while you heal. That's smart. She was right. I was protecting myself. Because underneath the numb, underneath the calm, I could feel something massive and painful waiting. And I wasn't ready to look at it yet. I started therapy the next week. Dr. Morrison, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a direct manner. Tell me why you're here, she said in our first session. I told her everything. The video call? The situationship. How I'd moved out in 4 hours. How I'd blocked him everywhere. How I was living in a new apartment with nothing but an air mattress and boxes. And how do you feel about all of this? Numb. Mostly numb. That's a protective response. Completely normal. Everyone keeps asking if I'm okay, if I'm sad. And I am, but not the way they expect. I'm not crying over him. I'm not missing him. I'm just empty. You lost 3 years of your life to someone who betrayed your trust. That's significant trauma. It doesn't feel like trauma. It feels like I'm just handling it. Handling it is how we survive trauma. Later, we process it. She was right, but I wasn't ready to process anything yet. I was still in survival mode. I bought furniture, a bed frame and mattress from IKEA. A small couch from a thrift store. A kitchen table with 2 chairs, plates, silverware, towels, all the mundane things I'd left behind, because they were his or too complicated to separate. Starting over was expensive. My savings account looked sad and empty. But every purchase felt like reclaiming myself. This bed was mine. This couch was mine. This life was mine. 2 weeks after I moved in, someone knocked on my door. I checked the peephole. Marcus. I didn't open it. Jenna, I know you're in there. Your car's in the parking lot. Please, just talk to me for 5 minutes. I stayed silent. Come on, this is ridiculous. We're adults. We can have a conversation. I sat on my new couch and waited. Fine. You want to play games? I need my stuff. You took things that belonged to me. That got my attention. I opened the door but kept the chain on. What stuff? He looked terrible. Thinner, tired, hair too long. The coffee maker. That was mine. I bought that coffee maker last Christmas because your old one was broken. Okay, fine. But what about the cast iron skillet? That was definitely mine. I didn't take your skillet. I only took things that were mine. Can I just come in? We can go through everything. Figure out what belongs to who. No. Why are you being like this? Because we broke up. Exes don't hang out and sort through kitchen items. We weren't just exes. We were building a life together. You destroyed that life when you started your situationship. He flinched. I made a mistake. I know that now. She and I didn't work out. It was a stupid travel romance that didn't mean anything. That's not my problem. Jenna, please, I miss you. I miss us. Can we just try to work through this? No. Why not? 'Cause I don't want to. That's it? That's your reason? That's all the reason I need. Goodbye, Marcus. I closed the door. He stood there for another minute, then left. My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From adrenaline. From the satisfaction of holding my boundary and not giving in. Aliyah came over that night with wine and Thai food. Tyler told me Marcus showed up here. How does Tyler know? Marcus called him crying. Said you wouldn't even talk to him. Sir comment. Good. He said Marcus is devastated, that the whole situationship thing crashed and burned. The girl found out he'd lied to her about being single. Sor comment. I looked up from my pad thai. What? Sor comment. Yeah. Apparently he told her you two had broken up months ago. When she found out the truth, she dumped him immediately. Sor comment. Huh? So he lied to both of us? Sor comment. Looks that way. I thought about that. How he'd called me to confess to a situationship? Probably because he'd known she was about to find out the truth. How he'd framed it as honesty, as trying to do the right thing, when really he'd just been trying to control the narrative, before it blew up on him. You okay? Aliyah asked. Sor comment. I'm great, actually. Every time I learn something new, I'm more confident I made the right decision. Good, because there's more. More? Tyler said the girl showed him text messages. Marcus had been planning the whole thing, how he was going to break up with you after the trip, how he was using the situationship to transition out of your relationship. My chest felt tight. He planned it. Yeah. All of it, the video call confession, the honesty about his journey, it had all been calculated, planned, strategic. I'm going to be sick, I said. Aliyah held my hair while I threw up in the bathroom. Then she helped me to my new bed, and sat with me while I cried. Really cried. For the first time since it all happened. Not because I missed him, but because I'd been so thoroughly deceived. Because I'd loved someone who'd been planning to leave me while I was folding his laundry and supporting his dreams and being understanding about his need to find himself. "I'm sorry," Aliyah whispered. "I'm so sorry. I gave him 3 years. I know. I moved into his place. I paid rent. I built a life there. And the whole time, he was looking for an exit. You couldn't have known." "I should have known. There must have been signs." "Stop. You're not doing this. You're not blaming yourself for someone else's lies." "But I couldn't help it. I went through everything in my mind. Every trip. Every late night. Every time he'd been distant or distracted. Were those signs? Was I stupid for missing them?" Morrison helped me work through it in our next session. "This is a normal response to betrayal," she said. "We search for clues we missed. We blame ourselves for not seeing it coming." But I should have seen it. Why? Was he coming home with lipstick on his collar? Hiding his phone? Acting suspicious? No. He was just Marcus, going on trips, living his life. Then you had no reason to suspect anything. You trusted him because that's what partners do. He violated that trust. That's on him, not you. It feels like it's on me. That's the trauma talking. Your brain is trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. It's trying to find control in a situation where you had none. She was right. I'd had no control. He'd made all the decisions, started the situationship, planned the breakup. I'd just been living my life, thinking we were building something together. The anger came after the sadness, white hot and clarifying. I was furious, not sad anymore. Furious. He'd wasted my time. 3 years of my life. 3 years I could have spent finding someone who actually valued me. And then he had the audacity to show up at my door wanting to work through it. Wanting another chance. No. I channeled the fury into building my new life. Got a promotion at work that I'd been too comfortable to pursue before. Started taking boxing classes at the gym Aliyah went to. Painted my apartment walls a color I'd always loved, but Marcus had hated. Made decisions based solely on what I wanted. My apartment started feeling like home. Small but mine. Every corner of it reflected my choices, my taste, my life. Marcus's mother called me one more time. "Jenna, honey, how are you?" "I'm good, Patricia, really good." "I'm glad to hear it. I wanted to call because Marcus told me he went to see you." "He did. He said you wouldn't talk to him." "That's right." "Good," she said it firmly. "That's good. I wanted to make sure you weren't letting him manipulate you into giving him another chance." "I'm not." "Good, because I talked to him. I got the truth out of him, about how he'd been planning this. About the lies. I'm ashamed of him." "Patricia, you don't have to." "Yes, I do. He's my son and I love him, but what he did was wrong. You deserve better. I wanted you to know that." After we hung up, I felt something shift. His own mother was on my side. Not because she didn't love him, but because she knew what he'd done was indefensible. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't overreacting. I was responding appropriately to an inappropriate situation. That night, I slept better than I had in weeks. 3 weeks after Marcus showed up at my door, things escalated. I came home from work to find a letter taped to my apartment door. Not in an envelope, just a folded piece of paper with my name on it. I took it inside and read it. "Jenna, I know you don't want to talk to me, but I can't just let 3 years end like this. We built something beautiful together. Yes, I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But don't I deserve a chance to make it right? Don't we owe it to what we had to at least try? I'm not asking you to take me back immediately. I'm just asking you to talk to me, to hear me out. I'm different now. This whole experience changed me. I see clearly now that you're the one I want to be with. Please, just give me one conversation. Marcus." I read it twice, then I threw it away. He didn't get to decide what we owed each other. He didn't get to show up and demand my time, my energy, my emotional labor to help him feel better about what he'd done. The letters kept coming, Once a week, like clockwork, each one more desperate than the last. I didn't respond to any of them. Then he tried a different approach. A package arrived. I almost didn't open it, but curiosity won. Inside was a photo album, printed pictures from our 3 years together, trips we'd taken, dinners we'd cooked, lazy Sundays on the couch, a whole relationship in glossy paper. The note inside read, "Remember what we had, remember why it mattered." I'll admit, that one hurt. Looking at those pictures, I could see myself, happy, in love, trusting, not knowing that while some of these photos were being taken, he was already looking for the exit. I put the album in my closet, couldn't throw it away yet, but couldn't look at it either. Aliyah was furious when I told her, "He's love-bombing you. This is classic manipulation." "I know what it is. Then why do you look sad?" "Because I'm mourning who I thought he was. The person in those pictures doesn't exist. Maybe he never did." "Exactly. So throw the album away." "So, throw the album away. I will. Just not yet." Tyler called me again a few days later. "Jenna, Marcus asked me to give you something." "No. No. Just listen." "No, Tyler. I'm serious. Stop being his messenger. We're broken up. It's done. He needs to move on." "He can't move on. He loves you." "He loved the idea of having me as a backup plan." "That's not the same thing." "That's harsh. Strong. It's honest. And I'm done protecting his feelings about it. Tell him to stop contacting me. The letters, the packages, all of it. It needs to stop. He's just trying. I don't care what he's trying. I don't care what he's trying to do. Tell him to stop or I'll get a restraining order. Etc. I wouldn't actually get a restraining order. It hadn't risen to that level. But the threat worked. The letters stopped. For about 3 weeks, everything was quiet. I started to relax. Started to believe he'd finally gotten the message. Then, my boss called me into her office. "Jenna, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me." My stomach dropped. "Okay? Did you have a boyfriend named Marcus?" "Yes. We broke up a few months ago. He called here. Said he was concerned about you. That you'd been going through a hard time, and he wanted to make sure you were okay at work." I felt my face go hot. "He what?" "He called your work, asked to speak to me specifically, introduced himself as your ex-boyfriend. Said he was worried about your mental state. Strong. Oh my God, strong." "Jenna, I told him it was inappropriate to call someone's workplace about their personal life, and I hung up. But I need to know if there's something going on here that I should be aware of." Strong. "He's harassing me. I've blocked him everywhere. So now he's trying to reach me through other people, including, apparently, my job." Strong. Strong. She nodded slowly. "Do you feel safe?" Strong. "Yes. He's not violent. He's just persistent." Strong. "If that changes, if you need anything, you let me know. We have security protocols." Strong. "Thank you. I'm sorry he contacted you." Strong. "Don't apologize for someone else's behavior. Just keep me informed if this escalates." Strong. I left her office shaking. He'd called my work, crossed that line. What was next? I called a lawyer that afternoon. I didn't want a restraining order yet, but I wanted to know my options. "Document everything," the lawyer said. "Keep the letters. Screenshot any messages that get through. Keep a log of every contact attempt. If it continues or escalates, you'll have grounds for a protective order." I started a file. Letters, emails that had made it through my filters, notes about when he'd shown up at my door or called my workplace. It filled up quickly. Then things got worse. I went on a date. First one since Marcus. A guy named Jordan I'd met at a networking event. He was nice, easy to talk to. We went to dinner, had a good time, decided to meet up again. After our second date, Jordan walked me to my car in the parking garage. We were saying goodnight when Marcus stepped out from behind a concrete column. "So this is what you've been doing?" His voice was cold, hurt. Jordan looked confused. "Who's this?" "Her boyfriend." "Ex-boyfriend," I corrected, my heart racing. "Marcus, what are you doing here?" I wanted to see you. But I guess you've already moved on. That's none of your business. Everything about you is my business, Jenna. We spent 3 years together. Jordan stepped slightly in front of me. Hey man, she said you're her ex. You need to leave. This doesn't concern you. It does when you're harassing someone in a parking garage. Marcus's face went red. Harassing? I'm harassing her? I'm trying to save our relationship and she's out here with random guys. Relationship's over. You need to accept that and move on. Strong P. Don't tell me what to do. Strong P. Things were escalating. I could feel it. Jordan, can you call building security? Marcus looked devastated, angry. This is what we've come to? You followed me to a parking garage. Yes, this is what we've come to. Strong P. Security arrived before things could get worse. They escorted Marcus out while he yelled about how I was ruining both our lives. How I couldn't just throw away 3 years. How I owed him more than this. Strong P. Jordan stayed with me until I was calm enough to drive. Are you okay? Strong P. I'm sorry. I had no idea he'd. Don't apologize. That guy's not okay. You should report this to the police. And say what? My ex showed up in a public parking garage? It's stalking, Jenna. Maybe it was, but I didn't want to deal with police reports and statements and making it all official. I just wanted it to be over. Jordan texted me the next day, "Hey, you seem really nice, but I can't get involved in this situation. Your ex seems unstable." I'm sorry. I didn't blame him. I thanked him for being honest and deleted his number. Marcus had cost me a potential relationship. Cost me the chance to move on. And he'd done it on purpose. I went back to the lawyer. He followed me on a date and confronted me in a parking garage. That's stalking. File a police report. Get a restraining order. I filed the report that day. Gave him copies of everything from my file. The letters, the emails, the notes about his attempts to contact me. The officer taking my statement was a woman in her 40s named Officer Reyes. She listened to everything, took notes, looked at my documentation. This is good, she said. You've been documenting. That helps. Will it be enough for a restraining order? I asked. I think so. He's established a pattern of unwanted contact. He's shown up at your home, your workplace, followed you on a date. That meets the criteria. What happens next? I asked. We'll file for an emergency protective order. If it's granted, he can't contact you at all. Can't come within a certain distance of you, your home, or your workplace. If he violates it, he'll be arrested. So how long does it take? Usually within a few days. Marcus would be served with papers and we'd have a court hearing in 2 weeks. Feeling relief and dread. Relief that there was legal protection now. Relief that there was legal protection now. Dread about what Marcus would do when he found out. He called from a blocked number that night. I should have known it was him, but I answered without thinking. A restraining order? He was yelling. You got a restraining order against me? You left me no choice. No choice? I was trying to talk to you, trying to fix things. You followed me on a date? I wanted to see if you were serious about moving on, and you were, with some random guy who doesn't even know you. That's exactly why I need the restraining order. You don't get to monitor my life anymore. This is insane. You're treating me like I'm some kind of criminal. Breer, you followed me. You called my work. You left letters on my door for weeks after I asked you to stop. What would you call that? Fighting for us. There is no us. That ended when you started your situationship. Everything since then has been you not accepting reality. I made a mistake. And I made the decision not to forgive it. That's my right. You're gonna regret this. My blood went cold. Is that a threat? What? No. I mean you'll regret giving up on us, on what we could have been. I already know what we could have been, and it wasn't good enough to stay for. Goodbye, Marcus. Don't call me again. I hung up and immediately called Officer Reyes. He just called me from a blocked number. Yelled at me about the restraining order. Okay, that's a violation. Save the call log. I'll add it to the file. The court hearing was surreal. We sat on opposite sides of a courtroom. Marcus with a lawyer he'd somehow afforded. Me with the free legal aid attorney the court had provided. The judge reviewed all my documentation. The letters, the emails, the police report from the parking garage incident. The record of him calling my workplace, the block number call from the night he was served. Marcus's lawyer argued that he was just trying to communicate with someone he loved. That his behavior was persistent but not threatening. That the restraining order was an overreaction. My attorney presented the pattern. The escalation. The refusal to respect boundaries. The parking garage confrontation. The judge took about 5 minutes to decide. Mr. Briggs, Miss Whitmore has made it clear through multiple channels that she doesn't want contact with you. You've ignored her requests repeatedly. You've appeared at her home, her workplace, and followed her on a date. This behavior constitutes stalking under state law. The restraining order is granted for 1 year. You are to have no contact with Miss Whitmore. You cannot go within 500 feet of her residence, or her workplace. Any violation will result in immediate arrest. Do you understand? Marcus stood there looking devastated. Yes, Your Honor. Miss Whitmore, if he contacts you or comes near you, call the police immediately. Don't try to handle it yourself. I understand. Thank you. We left through different exits. I waited in the courthouse lobby with my attorney until we were sure Marcus had left the building. You're safe now, she said. If he violates this, he'll go to jail. Most people don't violate restraining orders. Most people aren't Marcus. She looked at me seriously. Has he ever been violent? No, never. He's not violent. He's just obsessive. Obsessive can become dangerous. Be careful. Vary your routine. Pay attention to your surroundings. I left the courthouse feeling like I'd won something and lost something at the same time. I had legal protection now, but I also had confirmation that my ex-boyfriend was someone I needed legal protection from. This is Revenge Stories, a home for quiet courage and true endings. If you feel my words, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Help us build this community so we can bring more interesting and exciting stories for you from around the world. Your help is much appreciated. Your voice matters here. Your story matters too. The restraining order worked. For 2 months, I heard nothing from Marcus. No letters, no calls, no parking garage ambushes. Just silence. I started to relax, started to believe I could actually move on with my life. Then I got a call from Patricia, Marcus's mother. Jenna, honey, I heard about the restraining order. I'm sorry, I know he's your son. Don't apologize. I'm calling to tell you I support you. Marcus told me his version of events, and then I asked around and got the real story. What he did was wrong. Thank you for saying that. He's getting help. I insisted on it. He's seeing a therapist, working through his issues with obsession and control. That's good. I hope it helps him. Me too. But I wanted you to know that I don't blame you for the restraining order. You did what you had to do to stay safe. That's important. We talked for a few more minutes. She asked how I was doing, if I was happy in my new place, if I was dating anyone. Normal questions. Kind questions. When we hung up, I felt grateful. His mother understood. That mattered more than I expected it to. I started dating again. Nothing serious. Just coffee dates and dinners. Getting comfortable with the idea of letting someone new in. I met someone named Xavier at a friend's birthday party. He was a teacher. Funny, kind, completely drama-free. We clicked immediately. Our first few dates were easy, natural. He knew about Marcus. I'd learned to be upfront about the restraining order situation. Some guys ran when they heard. Xavier didn't. So your ex couldn't take no for an answer, he said over coffee. That's the simplified version. And you got a restraining order to protect yourself. Yes. Good. That was smart. Shows you know your worth. I liked him. More than I expected to. We started seeing each other regularly. Nothing intense, just steady. Comfortable. 3 months in, Xavier asked if I wanted to be exclusive. I said yes. It felt right. Safe. Different from Marcus in every way. Xavier didn't need to find himself. He knew who he was. He didn't take mysterious trips alone. When he traveled, he asked if I wanted to come. He was present, honest, uncomplicated. Everything Marcus wasn't. We were at dinner one night, 6 months into dating, when Xavier said, "I think I'm falling in love with you." My chest got tight, not in a bad way, in a scared way. That's fast. Is it? We've been together for half a year. I know. I'm still working through some things. From Marcus? Yeah, trust is hard for me now. I get that. I'm not going anywhere. Take your time. That's what I needed. Someone patient. Someone who understood that being cheated on and stalked leaves marks that don't heal quickly. Dr. Morrison was proud of me. You're setting healthy boundaries in this new relationship. That's growth. You're still scared, though. Like it could all fall apart again. That's a normal response to betrayal trauma. But you can't let fear stop you from connecting with people. What if I choose wrong again? Jenna, you didn't choose wrong. Marcus deceived you. That's different. You can't protect yourself from deception by being paranoid. You can only trust your instincts and walk away when something feels wrong. My instincts didn't work with Marcus. Your instincts told you to leave the moment he confessed. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. They worked perfectly. She was right. My instincts had saved me. I'd listened to them then. I could trust them now. 1 year after the breakup, Aliyah threw me a party. Not a celebration of the breakup exactly. More like a celebration of survival, of rebuilding. My new apartment was full of friends. People who'd supported me through everything. Xavier was there, comfortable in the space, comfortable with me. We'd said I love you by then. It had taken me 8 months to say it back, but I'd meant it. Aliyah raised her glass to Jenna, who showed us all how to walk away with dignity and build something better. Everyone drank. It felt good. Not like I'd won something, but like I'd survived something and come out stronger. Tyler showed up late. I was surprised to see him. We hadn't talked since I'd threatened the restraining order. "Can I talk to you?" he asked. We stepped out into the hallway. "What's up?" he said. "I wanted to apologize for pushing you to talk to Marcus, for not taking your side sooner. I was wrong." Okay. He's not doing well, just so you know. The therapist says he has attachment disorder. He's on medication, working through a lot of stuff. I'm sorry to hear that. Genuinely. But it doesn't change anything. I know, I'm not asking you to forgive him. I just thought you should know he's getting help. Thank you for telling me. You look happy. With the new guy. I am happy. Good, you deserve that. He hugged me quickly and left. Xavier was waiting inside. Everything okay? Yeah, just closure. The kind you don't expect, but need anyway. Want to talk about it? Not really. I just want to be here, with you. With everyone who matters? Then that's what we'll do. We danced in my living room to music from someone's phone, ate too much pizza, laughed about stupid things. It was perfect, simple, mine. Lying in bed that night, Xavier asleep beside me, I thought about the video call from a year ago. Marcus's face on my phone screen, his confession about the situationship. How my whole life had cracked open in that moment. Strong P. I'd lost a relationship, an apartment, savings, time, energy, peace of mind. But I'd gained something, too. Self-respect, boundaries, the knowledge that I could walk away from something that wasn't serving me, the confidence that I could rebuild from nothing and create something better. Strong P. Marcus had given me 3 years, some of them good, some of them lies. But I'd given myself this year, this apartment, this life, this relationship with Xavier that was built on honesty instead of deception. That was worth everything I'd lost. The restraining order expired after a year. I didn't renew it, didn't need to. Marcus had honored it, stayed away, moved on with his life. I heard through mutual friends that he'd moved to a different city, was dating someone new, still in therapy, doing better. Good for him. Genuinely, I didn't wish him harm. I just didn't wish to be in his life anymore. 2 years after the breakup, Xavier and I moved in together. A new place, bigger. Ours from the beginning. Both our names on the lease. Both of us contributing equally. Partnership instead of power imbalance. I thought about Marcus when we signed the lease. How different this felt. How I wasn't giving up my space to move into his. We were creating space together. Equal footing from day one. Xavier caught me smiling as we unpacked boxes. What are you thinking about? How far I've come. Yeah? 2 years ago, I was living on an air mattress in an empty apartment, rebuilding my life from scratch. Now I'm here, with you, in our place, and I'm happy. I'm happy too. I don't think I ever thanked you. For what? For being patient while I figured out how to trust again. For not being intimidated by my baggage. For being exactly what I needed when I didn't even know what that was. He kissed me. You don't have to thank me for loving you. That's the easy part. We finished unpacking, made dinner in our new kitchen, fell asleep in our new bedroom. Started the next chapter of our lives. I was sitting in my own kitchen, making myself a cup of chamomile tea after a long shift at the hospital, when I heard the front door open. Multiple voices filled our usually quiet townhouse. My husband Marcus walked in first, but behind him came his entire family. His mother Patricia, his father Raymond, his sister Veronica, and his brother Xavier. They all filed into our living room like they owned the place. Marcus looked uncomfortable, shifting his weight from foot to foot. Sophia, honey, everyone wanted to talk to us about something really important. I set down my tea, already feeling the tension in the room. This wasn't a social visit. This was an ambush. What's going on? I asked, though part of me already knew this would be about money. It always was with his family. Patricia sat down on our cream-colored sofa, the one I'd picked out when we first moved in 3 years ago. She smoothed her skirt and gave me that smile that never quite reached her eyes. Sophia, dear, we're here as a family to discuss an incredible opportunity. Xavier leaned forward, his eyes bright with excitement. I've been researching this new wellness franchise opportunity. It's revolutionary, combining health supplements with digital marketing. The returns are insane. This is Revenge Stories, a home for quiet courage and true endings. If you feel my words, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Help us build this community so we can bring more interesting and exciting stories for you from around the world. Your help is much appreciated. Your voice matters here. Your story matters too. I should probably explain something here. Before I married Marcus, before I even met him, I'd inherited money from my grandmother. She passed away when I was 28, leaving me her entire estate, about $92,000. It wasn't lottery money, but it was everything she'd saved over a lifetime of careful planning and wise investments. I'd kept it in a separate account, untouched, thinking maybe someday I'd use it to open my own clinic or put a down payment on a house. Marcus knew about the money. We'd been transparent about our finances when we got engaged, but we'd also agreed to keep our premarital assets separate. It was actually his idea initially. He'd said it was the smart thing to do. Now his family was sitting in my living room, and I could see where this was heading. That sounds interesting for you, I said carefully. I hope it works out. Raymond cleared his throat. It's not just for Xavier. This is a family investment. We're all putting in capital to maximize the opportunity. We've already committed, Veronica added, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Mom and Dad put in $30,000. I put in 15. Xavier's putting in 25. And we thought, Patricia said, her voice taking on that sugary sweet tone I'd learned to recognize as manipulation, that since you're part of this family now, you'd want to be included. I looked at Marcus. He was staring at the floor, avoiding my eyes. How much? I asked. Xavier jumped in immediately. With your 90,000, we'd have enough to buy the top-tier franchise package. The returns at that level are guaranteed to be astronomical. 90,000? I felt my chest tighten. You want me to invest my entire inheritance? It's not just an investment, Patricia said. It's investing in our family's future, in all of our futures. I stood up, needing to create some distance. I need to think about this. That's a lot of money. What's there to think about? Veronica's voice had an edge to it now. Don't you trust us? It's not about trust. It's about making responsible financial decisions. Raymond's face was getting red. Responsible? We're offering you a chance to be part of something that will set us all up for life. And you want to hoard your money? And we're your family. Or at least, we thought we were. Marcus finally spoke up, but not in the way I'd hoped. Sophia, maybe you should just hear them out completely. I turned to him, feeling betrayed. You knew about this? You knew they were coming here to ask for my inheritance? He couldn't meet my eyes. They're my family. They just want us all to succeed together. By taking every penny I have saved? Xavier stood up too, his friendly demeanor completely gone. You know what? Forget it. We try to include you, try to make you really part of this family, and you throw it in our faces. I'm not throwing anything in anyone's face. I'm just not comfortable investing that amount in something I don't understand. You don't understand because you don't want to understand, Veronica snapped. You've never really wanted to be part of this family. That's not true. Patricia raised her hand, silencing everyone. She looked at me with cold eyes. I think we need to be very clear here, Sophia. This family works as a unit. We support each other. We invest in each other. If you can't do that, then maybe you need to reconsider whether you belong here. The room went silent. I could hear my heart pounding in my ears. Are you giving me an ultimatum? I asked. Raymond stepped forward. We're giving you a choice. Be part of this family, really part of it, or admit that you're just here for Marcus and you don't care about the rest of us. I looked at my husband, waiting for him to say something, to defend me, to stand up to them, but he just stood there, looking miserable. Marcus, I said quietly. He finally looked at me. They have a point, Sophia. If we're really a family, we should support each other. Supporting each other doesn't mean giving away my entire inheritance to a scheme I know nothing about. It's not a scheme, Xavier shouted. This is a legitimate opportunity, and you're going to make us miss it because you're selfish. Selfish? I felt tears pricking my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. I work 12-hour shifts as a pediatric nurse. I take care of sick children every day. I volunteer at the free clinic on weekends. How am I selfish? Because you won't help your own family, Patricia said simply. You have the means to change all of our lives, and you're choosing not to. I'm choosing to be careful with money my grandmother left me. Money she trusted me with. Your dead grandmother is more important than your living family? Veronica asked nastily. That was it. That was the line. Get out, I said quietly. Excuse me? Patricia's eyebrows shot up. Get out of my house, all of you. You can't kick us out. Raymond said. This is Marcus's house too. I looked at Marcus. Do you want them to stay? He looked torn, glancing between me and his family. I think everyone needs to calm down. That's not what I asked. Do you want them to stay? His mother walked over to him, putting her hand on his arm. Marcus, sweetheart, I think you need to make something clear to your wife. She needs to understand that when she married you, she married into this family, and this family has expectations. Marcus looked at me, then at his mother. Mom's right, Sophia. You knew my family was important to me when we got married. Important, yes, but this is extortion. It's not extortion, Xavier said. It's a test of whether you're really one of us or not. Patricia nodded. And I think we have our answer. Marcus, honey, you need to think long and hard about whether this is the kind of person you want to spend your life with. Someone who puts money over family. I'm not putting money over family. I'm putting financial security and my grandmother's wishes over a risky investment. See? Veronica pointed at me. She admits she doesn't see us as family. We're just a risky investment to her. Patricia turned to Marcus. I think you need to choose, sweetheart. Her or us. Because I won't stand by and watch her destroy this opportunity for all of us. If she's not willing to invest in our family's future, then she's not really family. The room went completely silent. Everyone was looking at Marcus. You can't be serious, I whispered. You're making him choose between his wife and his family? You're the one making this a choice, Raymond said. All you had to do was say yes, be part of the team. But you chose to be selfish. Marcus was sweating now, his face pale. This isn't fair. Don't make me do this. His mother squeezed his arm. We're not making you do anything, honey. We're just asking you to stand up for your family. Your real family. The people who have been there for you since day one. I'm his wife, I said, my voice breaking. I'm his family too. Are you though? Patricia asked. Family shares everything. Family sacrifices for each other. What have you sacrificed? I've sacrificed plenty. I've spent every holiday with you all instead of my own family. I've attended every birthday, every celebration, every random gathering you've thrown. I've listened to years of passive-aggressive comments about my job, my cooking, my decision to wait on having children. I've sacrificed my peace of mind and my self-esteem trying to make you people like me. You people? Veronica laughed bitterly. There it is. We're you people to her. Marcus stepped away from his mother, running his hands through his hair. This is insane. This is all insane. No, what's insane is that your wife has the power to secure our entire family's financial future, and she's refusing, Xavier said. That's insane. Marcus, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. Please, don't let them do this. He looked at me, and I saw something break in his eyes. Why can't you just do this? For me? For us? Because it's wrong. Because it's my money. Because they're trying to manipulate both of us. Or maybe, Patricia said coldly, she never really loved you at all. Maybe she's been keeping that money as an escape fund. Maybe she's been planning to leave you all along. That's not true, I shouted. Then prove it, Raymond said. Prove you're committed to this family. Invest in our future. I won't be bullied into giving you my money. Patricia turned back to Marcus. I think we have our answer. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Marcus looked at me, then at his family, then back at me. Sophia, please, just consider it for me. I have considered it. The answer is no. Then you're choosing your money over us, Veronica said. I'm choosing financial responsibility over peer pressure. Marcus, his mother said firmly, choose, now. Her or your family. Because if you leave with her tonight, if you choose her over us, then you're telling us exactly where we stand in your life, and we'll act accordingly. You'll cut him off? I asked, incredulous. You'll cut off your own son if he doesn't make me give you money? We'll cut off someone who chooses a selfish woman over his own blood, Raymond said. Marcus was crying now, actual tears running down his face. Why are you doing this? Why are any of you doing this? We're not doing anything, his mother said. We're just asking you to make a choice. Your wife, who won't share her resources with your family, or your family, who has shared everything with you your whole life. That's manipulation, I shouted. That's truth, Patricia shot back. Marcus looked at me one more time. Sophia, I'm begging you, just say yes. We can figure out the details later. Just say yes now, and this all stops. I can't do that, Marcus. I won't do that. And if you loved me, if you really loved me, you wouldn't ask me to. He closed his eyes, and when he opened them, he wasn't looking at me anymore. He was looking at his mother. I'm sorry, Sophia, he said quietly, but they're my family. They've always been there for me. And if you can't be part of that, if you can't support us, then... And I choose them. And remember, his statement, the words hit me like a physical blow. I actually stepped back, grabbing the counter for support. Next. You choose them, I whispered. He nodded, not looking at me. I choose my family. Patricia smiled triumphantly. Good choice, sweetheart. You won't regret it. Then I stood there for a moment, trying to process what had just happened. My husband, the man I'd exchanged vows with, who had promised to forsake all others, had just chosen his manipulative family over me because I wouldn't give them my inheritance. Okay, I said quietly. You've made your choice. I walked to the bedroom. my legs feeling like they might give out at any moment. I could hear them talking in the living room, Patricia saying something about how I'd come around, how I just needed time to think about it. I closed the bedroom door, locked it, and pulled out my phone. My hands were shaking as I searched for divorce attorneys in the area. I found one with excellent reviews, a woman named Catherine Winters. I sent her an email. My husband just chose his family over me when I refused to give them my inheritance. They gave him an ultimatum, and he chose them. I need a divorce attorney immediately. Please call me as soon as possible. Then I sat on the bed and tried to breathe. 30 minutes later, my phone rang. Is this Sophia? A professional voice asked. Yes, this is Catherine Winters. I just read your email. Can you talk? Star parentheses. Yes, they're still in my living room, but I'm in the bedroom. First things first, are you safe? Yes, they're not violent, just manipulative. Good. Now tell me everything. I explained the whole situation. My inheritance, the separate accounts, the ambush, the ultimatum, Marcus's choice. She listened without interrupting, occasionally making sounds of understanding. Here's what you need to do, she said when I finished. Document everything. If you have any texts or emails about this situation, save them. Take screenshots. Start packing your important documents, passport, birth certificate, banking information. Do you have somewhere you can stay? My friend Jennifer has a spare room. Good. So, pack what you need and get out of there as soon as possible. Can you come to my office tomorrow? I have a shift at the hospital until 3. Come straight after. We'll file the paperwork immediately. And Sophia, don't tell him you're filing until he's served. Don't give them any warning. Okay, one more thing. Move your money, tonight if possible. Open a new account at a different bank and transfer your inheritance. They might try to access it once they realize you're serious. And they do that? Legally? No. But people do illegal things when they're desperate. Better safe than sorry. After I hung up, I could still hear them in the living room, laughing about something. Celebrating, probably. They thought they'd won. They thought I'd cave. I pulled out my laptop and logged into my bank account. Within 20 minutes, I'd opened a new account at a completely different bank and initiated the transfer of my entire inheritance. Then I started packing, quietly, methodically. Just essentials. Just what I'd need for a few weeks. I texted Jennifer. Can I stay with you for a while? Marcus and I are done. She replied immediately. Oh, honey, of course. Come anytime. Do you need help? Just a place to stay. I'll explain everything when I get there. I waited until almost midnight, when I heard them finally leaving. Marcus came to the bedroom door, knocking softly. Sophia, can we talk? I didn't answer. I know you're upset, but we can work through this. My family just wants what's best for everyone. Still, I said nothing. Fine, we'll talk in the morning. I heard him walk away, probably to sleep on the couch. I waited another hour, then quietly finished packing. I took my suitcase, my important documents, my laptop, and my favorite photo of my grandmother. The one where she's laughing at her 80th birthday party, looking radiant and free. I left my wedding ring on the dresser. I slipped out of the house at 2 a.m. while Marcus was snoring on the couch. I didn't leave a note. There was nothing left to say. Jennifer was waiting for me, even at that ungodly hour. She took one look at my face and pulled me into a hug. Tell me everything, she said. So I did. I told her about the ambush, the ultimatum, the choice. She listened, her face cycling through shock, anger, and disgust. He actually chose them? After they pulled that manipulation? He chose them, I confirmed. What are you going to do? I already have a lawyer. I'm filing for divorce tomorrow. Good God, Sophia. I'm so sorry. But also, thank God you found out now what kind of person he really is. The next morning, my phone exploded with messages. Marcus had woken up to find me gone. Where are you? What's going on? This is ridiculous. Come home so we can talk. You're being dramatic. My family was just trying to help us. I didn't respond to any of them. I went to work, focusing on my tiny patients, letting their innocence and their resilience remind me that there was still good in the world. After my shift, I went straight to Catherine's office. She was everything I'd hoped, professional, sharp, and taking no nonsense. Based on what you've told me, we have a strong case. You kept your assets separate, you have documentation of the ultimatum, and he made his choice clear. The question is, what do you want from this divorce? I want to keep my inheritance. I want a clean break, and I want out as fast as possible. We can do that. Colorado is a no-fault state, but given the circumstances, I think we can push for a quick resolution. Now, let's talk about marital assets. We went through everything. The house was a rental in both our names. We had about $15,000 in joint savings. 2 cars, both purchased during the marriage. Nothing too complicated. I just want what's fair, I said. Split the joint savings, each keep our own car. Done. And your inheritance? That's mine. It was mine before the marriage. It stayed separate during the marriage. It remains mine after. She smiled. I like clients who know what they want. Let's file. We filed that afternoon. Marcus would be served within 48 hours. The next 2 days were surreal. I went to work, stayed with Jennifer, ignored the increasing frantic messages from Marcus. He went from angry to pleading to angry again. This is insane, Sophia. You can't just leave over one disagreement. My mother is worried sick. Please, just come home. We took vows. Does that mean nothing to you? That last one almost made me laugh. Vows. Like the vow to forsake all others? Then he was served. My phone rang within 10 minutes. I didn't answer. He called 15 times in a row. Then the text started. Divorce? Are you kidding me? This is beyond immature. I can't believe you're doing this to us. My family was right about you. Then his mother started calling. Then his father. Then Veronica. Then Xavier. I blocked them all. But Patricia was nothing if not persistent. She showed up at the hospital. I was just finishing my rounds in the pediatric ward when I saw her standing by the nurse's station. Patricia, in all her designer glory, looking completely out of place among the cartoon murals and hand sanitizer stations. We need to talk, she said when she saw me. I'm working, and you're violating the terms I've requested through my attorney. No contact except through legal channels. This is ridiculous, Sophia. You're destroying my son over money. Your son made his choice. He chose you. I'm simply honoring that choice by removing myself from the equation. She stepped closer, lowering her voice. You know this won't stand up in court. Abandonment. You left the marital home without warning. I left after my husband told me he chose his family over me. That's not abandonment. That's self-preservation. We were just trying to include you in an opportunity. You were trying to steal my inheritance. Her face flushed. How dare you? Mrs. Chen, I said, using her surname deliberately to create distance. I need you to leave, now, or I'll call security. This isn't over, she hissed. You'll regret this. Security ended up escorting her out anyway, after she refused to leave. I filed a report and sent it to Catherine. That evening, Jennifer and I were having dinner when she asked, Do you think the money is really for some wellness franchise thing? Honestly, I doubt it. Xavier has had 5 revolutionary business ideas in the 3 years I've known him. None of them have worked out. What about the others? Did they really invest their own money? Maybe. Or maybe they just said they did to pressure me. Patricia and Raymond have always lived above their means. Veronica spends everything she makes on designer bags and trips to Miami. Sorry. And Marcus knew about your inheritance the whole time? From the beginning, we were transparent about finances. I thought that was a good thing. From the beginning, we were transparent about finances. I thought that was a good thing. He told them exactly how much you had. Xavier knew the exact amount. From the beginning. God, what a betrayal. Catherine called the next morning. I have interesting news. Marcus's attorney reached out. They want to meet. Already? Apparently your husband is eager to reconcile. Absolutely not. That's what I told them. But here's the interesting part. They're already trying to claim your inheritance should be considered marital property. On what grounds? They're saying you commingled funds by discussing potential joint investments. We never invested anything jointly. We kept everything separate. I know. It's a weak argument, but it tells me they're desperate. How much does Marcus make? About $45,000 a year as a marketing coordinator. And you? $78,000 as a pediatric nurse. So you're the primary earner? By a significant margin. This is good for us. Keep documenting everything. Any contact, any harassment, anything. The documentation part became easier than expected because Marcus's family couldn't help themselves. Despite the legal warning, they kept trying to reach me through mutual friends, social media, even my work email. Xavier sent a long message to my LinkedIn. You're making a huge mistake. This investment opportunity won't wait. We're moving forward without you. And when we're all wealthy, you'll realize what you gave up. Marcus is better off without someone so selfish. I screenshotted it, sent it to Catherine. Veronica posted on Instagram, when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Some people pretend to be family but bail the moment they're asked to contribute. Marcus deserves better. Screenshot, send to Catherine. Even Raymond got in on it, sending an email to my work address. I'm disappointed in you, Sophia. I thought you were different. I thought you understood the value of family. Your grandmother would be ashamed of how you're hoarding her money instead of using it to help others. That one made me furious. My grandmother, who had worked 3 jobs to support her family, who had saved every penny, who had taught me to never let anyone make me feel guilty for protecting my financial security. She would have been proud of me for standing my ground. Screenshot, send to Catherine. 2 weeks into the divorce proceedings, I got an unexpected call from Marcus's cousin, Anthony. We'd always gotten along well. He lived in Boston and usually only visited for major holidays. Sophia, I heard what happened. Are you okay? I'm managing. I'm surprised you're calling, though. Figured the family would have you on their side. Yeah, about that. I wanted you to know you made the right decision. What? They tried this with me 2 years ago. Remember when I came for Thanksgiving? I thought back. You left early. There was some argument. Because they cornered me about investing in Xavier's previous sure thing, some app development scheme. I had just gotten a promotion, and somehow they knew exactly how much my bonus was. What did you do? Said no. They pushed. Patricia cried. Raymond yelled. They tried to make me feel like I wasn't really family, but I held firm. They never mentioned any of this to me. Of course not, because I was right to say no. That app never materialized. The friend Xavier was partnering with turned out to be running multiple scams. Everyone who invested lost their money. Oh my God, yeah. That's how you can go on. And here's the thing, Sophia. This isn't the first time. They've been doing this for years. Getting family members to invest in Xavier's schemes. Aunt Linda lost her retirement fund. Cousin Jerome lost his kids' college savings. And Patricia and Raymond always act like the victims when it falls apart. Why doesn't anyone talk about this? Family shame. Nobody wants to admit they got swindled by their own relatives. Plus, Patricia is the matriarch. She controls the narrative. And Marcus knows about all this? Anthony was quiet for a moment. Marcus is complicated. He's not malicious like them, but he's weak. He can't stand up to them. Never could. I'm learning that. For what it's worth, I think you're brave. Most people just give in to keep the peace. Look where keeping the peace would have gotten me. Exactly. Hey, if you need a witness or anything for the divorce, I'm happy to provide a statement about their pattern of behavior. Really? You'd go against your family? They're not my family anymore. Family doesn't try to rob you. After that conversation, I felt even more confident in my decision. I forwarded Anthony's information to Catherine, who was thrilled. A family member willing to testify about a pattern of financial manipulation? This is gold, she said. After that conversation, I felt even more confident in my decision. I forwarded Anthony's information to Catherine, who was thrilled. But this time, he brought flowers and a teddy bear, like we'd had a simple lover's quarrel instead of a fundamental betrayal. Strong. Sophia, please, just 5 minutes, he said, standing in the hospital lobby. Sophia, please, just 5 minutes, he said, standing at the hospital lobby. Marcus, you need to leave. Contact my attorney if you need to communicate. This is gold. Soon-to-be ex-wife. And you made your choice. You chose them. I was under pressure. They're my family. I was protecting my family. The person you vowed to put above all others. Strong. You're being unreasonable about the money. It's just money. Strong. If it's just money, why did you choose them over me for it? Strong. He couldn't answer that. Security arrived. I'd already called them when I saw him in the lobby. As they escorted him out, he yelled, "This isn't you, Sophia. You're not this cold." But he was wrong. This was me. This was me, finally standing up for myself, after 3 years of trying to fit into a family that saw me as nothing more than a bank account. Strong. The divorce negotiations got uglier after that. Marcus's attorney filed a motion claiming I had hidden assets. Catherine laughed when she saw it. Hidden assets? You inherited money before marriage and kept it in a separate account that he knew about. How is that hidden? They withdrew that claim, but then tried arguing that I had verbally promised to invest the money in the family business. What family business? Catherine asked during a conference call. There is no registered business. There's no LLC, no partnership agreement. Nothing, just a vague idea about a wellness franchise. They pivoted again, now claiming emotional distress and asking for alimony. Your client makes $45,000 a year and lives with his parents rent-free, Catherine pointed out. My client makes $78,000 and is now paying for her own apartment. On what basis would she pay him alimony? It went on like this for 2 months. Every week, a new angle, a new claim, a new attempt to get at my inheritance. But Catherine was brilliant, shutting down every argument with facts and documentation. Then, the universe delivered some poetic justice. I was at the grocery store when I ran into Miranda, Xavier's ex-girlfriend. She looked relieved to see me. Sophia, I heard about you and Marcus. I'm so sorry. Thanks. I heard you and Xavier split too. She rolled her eyes. After I found out he'd taken $20,000 from our joint account without telling me? For that wellness franchise thing? He actually invested? Oh, they all did. Patricia and Raymond put in their home equity line of credit, $40,000. Veronica maxed out her credit cards and borrowed from her 401k. And Marcus? What about Marcus? Miranda looked uncomfortable. You didn't know? Know what? He took out a personal loan, $15,000. He was so sure you'd eventually cave and invest that he wanted to get in early to show his family he was committed. I stood there in the cereal aisle, speechless. My husband had taken out a loan for a scam investment, betting that he could pressure me into covering it with my inheritance. When did this happen? I asked. About a month before the intervention at your house. Xavier was bragging about how they were all going to be rich once you joined in. Parentheses to the part, I thanked Miranda and immediately called Catherine. He took out a loan before the intervention? This proves premeditation. They planned this whole thing. Parentheses to the part. I thanked Miranda and immediately called Catherine. This changes everything. The next week, Catherine subpoenaed financial records, and that's when everything really fell apart for them. All right, very unimportant. The records showed a clear pattern. Over the course of 2 months before the confrontation, the family had been coordinating. Group texts discussing the Sophia situation. Patricia researching the legal status of inherited assets in Colorado. Xavier creating projections showing how my $92,000 would complete their investment pool. Marcus checking my inheritance account balance through our shared computer. But the most damaging thing, an email from Marcus to his mother. She won't go for it willingly. We need everyone there. We need to make it seem like she has no choice. If she says no, I'll threaten to leave. She'll cave. She always does when she thinks I'm upset. Catherine read it to me over the phone. He literally admitted to planning to manipulate you. He never loved me, I said quietly. He just loved what I could provide. I'm so sorry, Sophia. But this email? This guarantees you keep your inheritance. No judge would award him anything after seeing this. She was right. When we finally got to mediation, Marcus's attorney looked defeated. They'd seen our evidence. They knew they had nothing. A mediator was a no-nonsense woman named Judge Chen. No relation to Marcus's family, thankfully. She reviewed everything and shook her head. Mr. Chen, she said, you and your family conspired to manipulate your wife into giving you her inherited assets. When she refused, you chose your family over your marriage. Now you want her to pay you alimony and give you half of the inheritance you tried to steal? Do I have that right? Private. Marcus's attorney tried to object, but the judge continued. First, I've seen a lot of divorce cases, but this level of premeditated financial manipulation is exceptional, and not in a good way. Final settlement was swift. Joint savings split 50-50, $7,500 each. Each keeps their own car. Strong 7. No alimony for either party. Strong, my inheritance remains 100% mine. Strong, each pays their own legal fees. Now, Marcus tried one last plea. Sophia, please, we can work this out without all this. My inheritance remains 100% mine. If you'd chosen me when they gave you that ultimatum, but you didn't. You chose them. Circle, P.S. I made a mistake. No, you made a choice. Now live with it. P.S. The divorce was finalized 3 weeks later. I was officially free. S. But the story doesn't end there. S. About a month after the divorce was final, Jennifer forwarded me a news article. S. Strong. Local wellness franchise revealed as pyramid scheme. Investors lost thousands. The franchise Xavier had been so excited about. Complete scam. The FTC had shut it down. Everyone who invested lost everything. They now had a lien on their house. Patricia and Raymond lost their $40,000 home equity line of credit. They now had a lien on their house. Strong. Strong. Veronica lost her credit card advances and 401k loan. About $18,000 total. She had to move back in with her parents. Xavier lost the $25,000 he'd invested, plus the $20,000 he'd stolen from Miranda. He was facing potential criminal charges for the theft. And Marcus? His $15,000 personal loan was still due, with interest. He was making minimum payments while living in his childhood bedroom. The last I heard from Jennifer, who still had some mutual friends with Marcus, the family had turned on each other. Patricia blamed Xavier for finding the investment. Xavier blamed his parents for pushing him to find something. Veronica blamed everyone for ruining her credit. And Marcus? Marcus blamed me for not saving them all with my money. Anthony called me when he heard about the scheme collapse. Told you, he said. This is what they do, and they never learn. I almost feel sorry for them, I said. Don't. They made their choices, just like Marcus made his. He was right. They'd all made their choices. A year has passed now since that night in my kitchen. I'm in a different place, literally and figuratively. I used part of my inheritance to put a down payment on a small condo. Nothing fancy, but it's mine. Every wall, every piece of furniture, every small decoration, chosen by me, paid for by me. No one else's opinion needed. My grandmother's picture sits on my mantle. I like to think she'd be proud. I protected her legacy. I stood up to bullies. I chose myself. The hospital promoted me to head nurse of the pediatric ward. The raise was substantial. I'm making more money than Marcus and I ever made combined. I'm dating again. Nothing serious yet, but I met someone nice. His name is David. He's a teacher. When I told him about my inheritance, he said, "That's great. Good for you for being financially responsible. No schemes, no manipulation, no family investment opportunities." Just last week, I got a letter forwarded from my old address. It was from Marcus, 5 pages, handwritten. He apologized, said he'd been in therapy, said he understood now how toxic his family dynamics were, how he'd been conditioned from childhood to never say no to them, how losing me was the worst thing that ever happened to him. He said his family barely speaks anymore. The financial pressure from their losses had destroyed their relationships. His parents were considering bankruptcy. Veronica had cut contact with everyone. Xavier had disappeared after the criminal charges were filed. He ended the letter with, "I know it's too late, but I wanted you to know that I understand now. You weren't choosing money over family. You were choosing self-respect over manipulation. I chose wrong. I'll regret it for the rest of my life." I read the letter twice. Then I put it in my fireplace and watched it burn. Not out of anger. I'm not angry anymore. But because that chapter of my life is closed. He made his choice. He chose them. I made mine. I chose me. And I've never regretted it for a single moment. Sometimes people ask if I think I was too harsh. If I should have given him a second chance. If I should have tried counseling first. But here's what they don't understand. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Marcus showed me that when push came to shove, when he had to choose between supporting his wife or appeasing his family, he would choose them. He showed me that he valued their approval more than our marriage. He showed me that he saw my inheritance not as my security, but as a resource he could access through manipulation. He showed me that the vows we'd exchanged meant less to him than his mother's tears and his father's anger. How do you come back from that? How do you rebuild trust after such a fundamental betrayal? You don't. You start over. You choose yourself. And that's exactly what I did. Jennifer asked me recently if I ever wonder what would have happened if I'd just given them the money. We'd be divorced anyway, I told her. Because they would have lost it all in that scheme, and then they would have blamed me for not stopping them. Or they would have come back for more when the next opportunity came along. It would never have been enough. She nodded. You're right. It was never about the money, was it? No, it was about control. About making me prove my loyalty by sacrificing my security. About testing how much manipulation I would tolerate. Pausing, break, blank, and you failed their test. Sorry, I passed my own. That's the thing about ultimatums. When someone says, choose them or me, they're telling you exactly who they are. They're someone willing to use emotional manipulation to get what they want. There's someone who sees relationships as transactions, love as leverage. When Marcus's family said choose, they revealed themselves. When Marcus chose them, he revealed himself. And when I chose to walk away, I revealed myself too. I revealed that I'm someone who won't be bullied. I revealed that I value myself enough to leave a situation where I'm not valued. I revealed that I'm strong enough to start over rather than stay in a toxic situation. My grandmother used to say, money doesn't change people. It reveals them. She was right. That money, her money, revealed that Marcus's family saw me as a resource to be exploited. It revealed that Marcus was too weak to stand up for his wife. But it also revealed that I'm stronger than I knew. It revealed that I can stand alone when I need to. It revealed that choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. So no, I don't regret leaving. I don't regret the divorce. I don't regret refusing to give them my money. My only regret is that I spent 3 years trying to fit into a family that never wanted me, only what I could provide. But even that taught me something valuable. It taught me to recognize red flags. It taught me to trust my instincts. It taught me that when someone shows you who they are, you should believe them the first time. These days my life is quieter, peaceful. I come home to my condo, my space, my choices. No one's family is waiting to ambush me. No one is calculating the value of my assets. No one is trying to manipulate me into funding their schemes. I volunteer at a free clinic on weekends, using my nursing skills to help people who really need it. I'm taking a pottery class, something I always wanted to do but never had time for when I was constantly attending Marcus's family events. I'm learning Italian through an app, planning a trip to Rome next year. I'm living, not just existing, not just getting through each day trying to keep the peace. Actually living. And it all started the night I was given an ultimatum and decided to take it at face value. They said, choose. Marcus chose them. I chose me. And that has made all the difference. This is Revenge Stories, a home for quiet courage and true endings. If you feel my words, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Help us build this community so we can bring more interesting and exciting stories for you from around the world. Your help is much appreciated. Your voice matters here. Your story matters too. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate or planned. Sometimes it's simply walking away and letting people face the consequences of their own choices. Marcus and his family created their own downfall through greed and manipulation. All I did was refuse to be their safety net. They wanted my money. They lost everything. I kept my inheritance and gained my freedom. That's not revenge. That's justice. And honestly, it's more than enough.